Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out a track from a couple of musicians named Gabriel Vendramini and Guilherme, titled The Process of Breaking Things to Rebuild Them Again. And if we switch over to here, we have the track on the screen on Spotify. A few releases here, which is pretty dope. We're going to be listening through this track from start till finish. We're going to hear what we think. Let's go. Let's do this. What do we got in store for us? Oh, that's a really nice, pleasant double tread guitar tone. Is there a bass in there as well? That's really nice and round, isn't it?
Face the truth, not the facts. Don't know how long we'll last. As I'm staring into this photos in my room.
So this guy's in the lower vocal range here, and he's sitting neatly in within the guitars. On top of the bass, but not necessarily as risen as you usually get with people in a higher register, but still the mixing's done well. You can hear the words clearly, it's nice.
Hate the summer, love the heat. There's so much that we could keep. Like the secrets promised never to be told. I'm breaking everything so I can.
I love the professionalism on display here in regards to the production and also the performance. You know, it's commercial grade tone, ready for release and distribution. Mixing and mastering is absolutely on point. The tone of the recorded instruments is fantastic. The guitars, man, the heaviness, but the roundness of it and the glowing of the various ingredients in the mix. It's fantastic.
Stop reviewing over. I'm breaking everything so I can stop reviewing over. Stop reviewing over. Tell me when, tell me not.
They really know what they're doing, don't they? Catchy vocal melodies as well. I'm just hearing the story through before I really comment on that too much, but just want to say off the bat, this is probably going to be a positive review.
Nothing left but you forgot. In a godless world we were left to starve. Make me laugh, make me cry, as the years goes rolling by. And my will to sing will keep me hanging on.
My world of sing will keep me hanging on. I like the fact that we reached towards a head voice there. We knew our limits and we came down. I think that was a smart move from a vocal performance perspective there. Shows his range. Shows that he knows his technique. But we comfortably accept our limitations there, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think going into a falsetto would have helped us there. I think that sounded just fantastic as it was, and a nice clean transition to the hook.
So I can stop reviewing over. Stop reviewing over. I'm breaking everything so I can stop reviewing over. Stop reviewing over.
Great solo here. Nice change in the lead voice. The cymbals kind of splash in the mix and they're fantastic. Really gentle harmonies on the vocals as well. Nice addition here at this later stage of part. Elegant voicing here. I mean, we don't really need more than this from a solo. If we started to go into some heavy shred or something, like it'd be fun. It might be a good time, but it's not required.
Face the truth.
Some rim shots in there.
Don't know how long we will last. As I'm staring to this photos in my room. Make me laugh, make me cry, as the years goes rolling by. And my will to sing will keep me hanging on.
My water sim can be hemming on. So like, are we talking about how, no, maybe laugh, maybe cry, maybe they're having these sort of issues with people and their life is reasonably unpredictable, but the one thing that keeps them going is their urge to make music and to sing. Fantastic job changing up the percussion for that part as well. Phenomenal fills. You know,
Everything so I can stop reviewing over. Stop reviewing over. I'm breaking everything so I can stop reviewing
Again, great pace kept by these hi-hats and rim shots, and the arpeggios and the guitars. Nice and balanced, easy to follow, pleasant to listen to, interesting story. Great. Really competent performance.
In a godless world, we were left to starve.
In a godless world where we're left to starve. Really poignant point to finish on, you know. Because this is the conclusion of my review of Gabriel Vendramini and Guilherme Wolf's The Process of Breaking Things to Rebuild Them. Again, I hope I haven't been butchering these names too much. I specifically looked up how to pronounce Guilherme. So hopefully it's somewhat close. I think this was a fantastic track. The story of it, again, I think is about someone coping with their mortality, looking at life and how it treats them, the unpredictability, the roller coaster that we're on, and accepting that music is the one constant in their life, that creativity, that outlet is the one thing that keeps them going. And it's about the process of breaking things to rebuild them again. You know, it's just about keeping going and stumbling and getting back up. That's my take on it. The vocal performance is splendid. We had a singer with tremendous vocal technique here who had a very, very organic performance here. You know, you felt what he was saying. You could tell that they cared about it. Not a huge amount of ornamentation or we didn't have huge vibrato passages or massive legato runs or anything like that. We kept to understandable sort of melodies that we could telegraph as we went along, and there was a little bit of vocal fry occasionally, but it was more often, I think, a very kind of calm, centered performance, I think, from Gabriel Vendramini and Guilherme Wolf, with the understanding that Guilherme did the production, as I understand it, as well as the instrumental parts, and Gabriel was the vocalist and lyricist. So that's just explaining the roles of the two musicians within this. Great chemistry between the two. The structure of the track was splendid. You know, you had an instrumental intro with the verse parts, and there was like a catchy chorus as well, an ABA kind of structure with that solo section, and a refrain with the revisiting of some of the previous stanzas, and then we had the hook to follow us out with the part about, you know, being left here to starve at the end. So again, it's easy to follow. I think a lot of people will be able to, you know, relate to the idea of having to rebuild and pick ourselves back up and deal with the other life that we have and the hand we're given. The instrumental performances with the guitar, bass, and drums are absolutely splendid. And I loved the mixture of the overdriven, distorted guitars in the chorus section with hook with power chords, combination with the lead parts in the solo section, and you know, the other cleaner arpeggios and fingerpick parts we had. You know, they were cool. The bass line was nice and foundational, rolled with the root notes really nicely. The drum parts there were splendid, lots of variation there. We kept an 8th note groove for the most part. We had some 16th note fills occasionally, and an increased intensity with those cymbals in the chorus was most welcome. I really did appreciate what we were doing in regards to the production, recording, mixing, mastering, as well as I've already sort of discussed. I think that it was a tremendous effort. Guilherme, as I understand it, was responsible for the production, and they did a phenomenal job on that. You know, it sounds like it's ready for release. They ought to be proud of themselves. I think this was a fantastic collaboration. I mean, the vocals were nice and poignant and easy to understand and follow, especially given how close the vocal range was to those guitar parts. You know, for them to still stand there and have their own niche or notch in the stereo field, it's not an easy thing to do, but they managed to make it happen. So yeah, the EQ and effects chains on the various instruments, limiting compression and all that kind of good stuff, you know. There wasn't a whole lot of ornamentation or manipulation of the files to make them sort of more synthetic. It was more of an organic kind of analog performance, which I appreciate, and I think it adds a more sort of like sincere vibe to it. I'm really happy with it. The process of breaking things to rebuild them again. It'll be fun making a thumbnail for this video, but just trying to fit the words in. But that's cool. You don't have to have a short title. You just need to tell people what the song is about, and it's all cool. It's a great song. But thank you very much for watching my review of The Process of Breaking Things to Rebuild Them Again by Gabriel Vendramini and Guilherme Wolf. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go check out the various social medias and a Spotify page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.